暗くて怖い。狭くて一人で怖い。怖い。いや、怖いよ。嫌だよ。ユージ、ユージ。
My hysterical voice echoes wetly, pointlessly around a coffin. Some part of me didn't really understand what dying meant. But after reading everyone's letters and losing my only way to contact Yuji, it's suddenly all too real, all too clear, all too terrifying. The fears grabbed hold of my ankles and won't let go. I can't get out of here. I really can't. I'll never see the light again. I feel like I'm about to go crazy. I feel around the interior of the box with clumsy, panicked hands, searching for some sort of exit. But of course, there's no such thing. There are places in the lid where the material feels slightly different, but nothing happens when I strike them. In the first place, I can't position myself properly in this cramped little box. The hard planks rub against me with every movement. I can feel the rough pain of torn skin, the hot trickle of blood oozing out of my wounds.
どうしたの？君はもうこの世界を終わらせたいって言ってたじゃない。それなのにどうして今になって怖がっているの？もうここまで来たら後悔しても遅いんじゃない？
A face exactly like my own floats in the darkness before my eyes. Am I just hallucinating? Or has the other me somehow taken on form?
張り乱しても仕方ないじゃない。慌てても意味ないよ。だけど、だって私、このままだと死んじゃう。そうね。それが目的だったんでしょ？あなたが死んで、私が代わりに生きる。そうしたかったんでしょ？でもこのままだと、一人で終わっていっちゃうね。最初はあなたに代わりをしてもらうつもりだった。間違ってる気がしてきて、このまま勝手に死ぬなんていけない気がしてきたの。それがわがままだって分かってる。でもお願い、ここから私を出して。ごめんなさい。そうしたいけど、今の私は何もすることができない。私はただ君と一緒にいるだけ。行動するのは君。そうだよね。私はやらなきゃいけないんだよね。
The other me stares into my eyes, her face steady and calm, not even blinking.
君は本当に誰からも愛されていなかった？君は本当に誰からも必要とされていなかった？よく考えて。私は生きていたかったのに、不意に何の理由もなくそれは終わってしまった。君はちゃんと生きていけたはずなのに、なぜ命を粗末にするの？ずっと失い続けてきたから。これからもそうなるのが怖くて。君をどうにかできるのは君だけだから。それが無理なら、このままずっと暗い闇の中にいなさい。私だって心残りがある。でも我慢してる。そうするしかないと思ってる。誰かに期待されたいのなら、誰かに消えてほしくないと思うのなら、まず君は自分自身に期待しなさい。そして自分を大切にしなさい。誰かのためじゃなくて、自分のために生きなさい。待って。
live for my own sake. I've never even tried. I'm always working for someone else's sake, and always failing. Falling short of their expectations. Always a defective human being. In that instant, the phone begins to ring. Even though the battery was definitely dead, the sheer electronic warbling bounces around the inside of the box. I grope around and grab hold of it. The screen and the incoming light are still dark, but the sound of the call continues as loudly as before. When I mash my thumb in the general area of the answer button, the ringing stops. I slowly bring the phone to my ear.
もしもし。もしもし。どうして一人だなんて思うの？ちゃんとあなたのこと友達だって思って大切にしてる人がいるよ。それなのにどうして一人でどこかに行こうとするの？あなたは置いていかれるのがどんなに辛いか分かってないんだ。だから勝手にどこかに行こうとしちゃうんだ。失うことは当たり前だよ。誰かに嫌われることだって特別なことじゃない。私、あなたのこと大好きだよ。だからどこにも行かないで。もしあなたが自分のことを不幸せだと思うなら、これから幸せになろう。ここに戻ってきて、これからまた一緒に生きよう。
I think this is a recording of the other Michiru. From now on, I haven't really thought about that so much lately. All this time, I've been focused on enduring the pain from the festering, miserable wounds the past left me. Even when I met someone new, I'd find myself thinking about what happened before, biting my lip when they weren't looking. What's the point? It'll be over someday. I timidly try to stretch out my hand. The door leading to the future is heavy and cold to the touch. I want.
みんなともう一度お話ししたい。それがいつか終わってしまうことだとしても、その場にみんなといたいよ。私だって幸せになりたいよ。
I strain forcefully against the door, and it opens before me. Leading me to this place.
みちる、ようやく来てくれたね。
The voice takes my breath away. Even after all this time, I never mistake that voice. It's my friend, the girl who went to the other side.
迎えに来てくれたんでしょ？一緒に行こうってことだよね。友達だから一緒にいようってことだよね。みちる、好きだよ。ありがとう。ずっと一緒にいようね。
The voice draws nearer, accompanied by something that seems to be formed out of pitch black mist. I draw back a step in fear.
どうして逃げるの？私たち親友だって約束したじゃない。それとも私のこと嫌いになっちゃった？
I don't hate you.
嫌いじゃないよ。大好きだよ。だったらこれからずっと一緒に過ごそうね。一緒にいよう。手出して。
A violet plum of smoke coils itself tightly around my arm. It's sharply cold against my skin, like fog rising from dry ice.
これからずっと一緒にいられるね。誰にも邪魔されないね。本当に幸せだよ。ごめんね。ごめんってどういうこと？私のこと嫌いになったの？違う。大好きだよ。今でも大好き。一番大好きなお友達だもん。だったらどうしてそんなこと言うの？教えて。 それはね、それはあなたが過去の人だからだよ。
過去の人？
あなたはもう死んでしまってこの世界にはいない人だからだよ。だからあなたと一緒にいることはできない。私は前を向いて生きなきゃいけない。いつまでも後ろを向いているわけにはいかない。
私を忘れるっていうの？
忘れない、絶対に忘れない。でも嫌なことがあった時にあなたのことを思い出して、あなたがいないからダメなんだって、そういう逃げ道にしたくないの。あなたのことは絶対に忘れない。でもこれ以上一緒にはいられない。
わからないよ。私にはわからない。どうして一緒にいられないのかわからない。ねえ、みんながみちるを叩いたり悪口を言ったりバカにしたり、そんな世界よりも私と一緒に何の悩みもない世界にずっと一緒にいよう。
Painful memories blow through my mind like a squall. For a moment, I feel as if the surge of emotion will carry me away. But somehow, I brace my legs and hold steady. I seem to have picked up a phone at some point. No, I was holding this all along. The battery's dead, and it can't connect me to anyone. But right now, it's the only thing tying me to the other world.
ごめんね。私行く。未来に。
My hand finds the knob of an invisible door.
あなたはこの世界との決別を選んだ。でも私もそうしようとしてたけど、やっぱり違うって思った。私には一緒に笑ってくれる友達がいる。一緒に泣いてくれる友達がいる。私を待っていてくれる人がいる。私を愛してくれる人もいる。私が愛してる人がいる。
And that's why I can't follow you on the road you chose.
ずるいよ。先に行っちゃうなんてずるい。
ごめんね。でもね、私もあなたのことが大好きだよ。でも一緒に死ぬことは友情じゃない。それは友達の証なんかじゃない。本当の友情は今一緒に生きている友達を大切にすることだと思う。今一緒にいる友達のために泣けること、今いる友達と笑えること、それが友情だと思う。そしてあなたは大切な思い出として心の中にしまっておく。さよなら。
I try to leave, but the knob doesn't want to turn. It's so stubborn it feels like it's fused in place. Even so, I keep right on twisting at it with all the strength I can muster. But that's no good either, so I start simply hitting the door as hard as I can. More blood spills from my hands with every strike. But I keep right on going without as much as a flinch.
でも現実は怖いよ。誰もあなたと最後まで一緒にいてはくれないよ。
でもやっぱり私あの世界とあの人たちが好きだから。
Somehow, I managed to force open the lid of my prison. In the next instant, a mixture of shockingly cold air and damp earth streamed down into the box. It's as if my body's being pressed down under the palm of a giant. I can't move. I spit out the dirt that's fallen into my mouth and try to open my eyes. I've never seen the sky from under the ground before. Makes me feel like the seedling of some bizarre plant.
私生きてる。
I wanted to gulp down a whole lungful of fresh air, but I can't manage that either. The hole I was buried in doesn't seem to be as deep as I thought. but hunger and exhaustion have left me too weak to push my way free.
みんなと会いたい。ユージと会いたい。
Somehow managing to speak, I struggled to crawl up through the heavy, wet soil. But no matter how much I strain my tired muscles, I can't move.
行きたいよ。死にたくないよ。
Writhing like an insect, I desperately try to get at least my face above ground. But my endurance has already run out. Drowsiness, hunger, and loneliness push murderously down on me.
ユージ。ユージ。
This really is it for me. I'm going to end here, drowned in mud. I couldn't manage to kill myself when I wanted to. And now I'm going to die when I want to live. Seriously, what an idiot. See? Told you I was stupid. But if I have to die, I want to die touching the world. I push my fingers up through the dirt with my last ounce of strength. From a neutral point of view, it must look like the feeble stirrings of some puny little sprout, one that's picked an odd time of year to surface. Deep in the soil, I slowly, weakly extend my index finger up toward the sky. I touch the outside air for the first time in who knows how long. It's startlingly, wonderfully cool. Only a few centimeters of my fingers in contact with the world. But it's enough. It's enough to tell me that I'm alive. Soft, quiet raindrops wet my fingertip. I've already cried myself dry. So maybe the sky is shedding tears in my place.
もう。
My eyelids fall like melting wax running down a candle, falling shut so heavily that it feels like they'll never, ever open again. I begin to slowly, peacefully disappear. That was quick. Hasn't even been 3 days since I buried you. After all that pig-headed whining about wanting to die, this is all you've got? No guts, woman. I pull Michiru up out of the earth. She's got a somewhat surprised expression on her face. Understandable, I suppose.
ユージ。なんでここにいるの？夢。
They're doing the classic anime thing where rain suddenly stops again. Damn you, anime! This isn't a dream. It's reality. How are you feeling? Come to your senses yet?
どうして？どういうこと？
Even if I tried to explain the whole thing, I doubt the girl would understand right now. I decided to keep it simple. I knew it would turn out like this. That's why I did what I did. I knew all along that you didn't really want to disappear or die. So I sat here and waited for you to break out of that shell. I was just your assistant on this one, here to lend a hand, in the most literal sense. I strongly squeezed Michiru's trembling hand. I was waiting here the whole time, and I was planning to keep on waiting, as long as it took for you to come out of that box.
でも、もし出てこなかったら？
Who knows? Hadn't thought about it. Waiting for people to pop out of their holes is my professional specialty, you see. There was no plan B. Kind of a half-assed strategy, granted, but it seems to have worked out.
さっき3日って言ってたけど、3日間ずっと待ってたの？
That's right.
ずっと？
That's right.
ご飯は？
I locked you up inside a box and stuck you in a hole. You expect me to complain about my stomach grumbling? Anyway, 3 days are nothing to worry yourself about. Barely worse than getting stood up for a date. Anyway, that's enough pointless back talk. Let's get going.
ちょっと待って。私、今、生きてるんだよね。
That's right.
もう一度、ユージとお話できるんだよね。
That's right. Michiru's eyes had resembled dull, cloudy marbles for so long that I'd almost forgot they could sparkle like this.
ありがとう。ユージ、ありがとう。
Yeah, save it for later.
今言わせて。私、ごっこじゃなくて、ユージと恋人になりたい。
Well, this is all very sudden. Can't say I've ever had a woman covered head to toe in mud confess her love to me before. A valuable experience to be sure. But a couple? Weren't you afraid of the end? Are you alright with the fact we might have to say goodbye someday?
いつか終わりが来るとしても、それまで1秒でもユージと長く一緒にいたい。それに1秒でも長く一緒にいるために頑張る。
Try hard at what exactly?
わかんないけど、嫌われないようにとか、もっと好きでいてくれるようにとか、楽しくなるようにとか、いっぱい頑張る。あと、逃げない。現実から、この世界から逃げないようにする。
I see. Sounds fairly promising. I'm getting the feeling we might be able to stay together for a good while.
ねえ、ユージ。
What now?
私、ユージのことが好き。
Honestly, I got the message the first time. Well, looks like the girl still got some energy left at least. Hoisting Michiru onto my back, I slowly carry her down the road leading back to the dorm. You did good, Michiru. Welcome back to the world you belong in.
ねえ、今何時？時間が知りたい。
A little after 2 in the morning, I guess. The witching hour, as they say. Come to think of it, try not to make a habit of rising out of the ground in the middle of the night. People might take you for a zombie.
本当だね。見つけてくれたのがユージでよかった。
Indeed. Sakaki probably would have pissed herself.
ねえ、やっぱりどうしても聞かせて。私が出てこなかったら、中で死んじゃったらどうするつもりだったの？
I probably would have made a big mistake, Michiru. Well, the thing is, that box was a little special. The lid was made to break comparatively easily, and there was a small apparatus to keep a trickle of fresh air coming in. Also, as I think you've realized, I didn't bury you that deep.
だから出ようと思えばいつでも出れたってこと？でもそうじゃなくて、私が出る意思がなかったら、このままもう死んでもいいって諦めて何もしなかったら。
I guess Yuji believed in you, Michiru. That wasn't going to happen. Remember when I made you wake up by swallowing those candies? When you finally opened up to me about your real feelings?
覚えてる。暗い場所にいたのに無理やり起こされた。それが何？
That wasn't the medicine you were using to suppress your other self. It was candy.
ただの？
I see. That's right. It might have felt like I dragged you out of your shell. But the fact is, you came out on your own. And you wouldn't have done that if you really wanted to die. These are just lumps of flavored sugar. I retrieved the plastic tube of Ramune candies from my pocket and tossed a single lozenge into Michiru's mouth.
甘くて美味しい。私のこと騙したんだね。
Yeah, I guess she was always aware of what was happening. And you're not really a tsundere. Granted, that was completely obvious from the start. But I think we're even on principle. Alright, there's the school. I think the first order of business is a nice long bath. These days, even real zombies are a little more hygienic than this.
もう意地悪。 おかえりなさいませ。
Spotting us, Sachi stops brushing the sidewalk in front of the gate and approaches with a beaming smile on her face. What on earth are you doing up at this hour, woman?
何ってお掃除ですよ。
So it would seem. But isn't it a little late for that?
いつ誰が帰ってきてもいいように、なるべく遅くまで働いているんです。特にここ数日は。っていうかサチ、私を見て驚かないの？
I guess in Sachi's case, she just believes that Yuji might do something stupid.
はい。でも私はみちる様が亡くなったなんて信じていませんでしたし、絶対に戻ってくるって思っていましたから。それよりも他の皆さんに見つからないようにしてくださいね。みちる様どころか風見さんまで消えてしまったものだから、みんな大騒ぎなんですから。
Not entirely surprising, I suppose. How do things stand currently?
学園長さんが問題ないわよ、風見くんなんだからっておっしゃってました。私は納得しましたけど、榊さんや天音さんはずっと落ち着きがなく過ごしています。マキちゃんはシャドウ影踏みの練習で気を紛らわせていました。
Sorry for the trouble. I have to explain everything to you all later. Guess I'd better brace myself for a slap or three.
そうですね。ささ、お疲れでしょうからお風呂へどうぞ。ちゃんとお掃除してありますからね。
Appreciate it. You really are a maid among maids, Sachi. Still carrying Michiru, I turn to enter the premises. But before I can take a step, the girl shifts her position on my back and speaks.
サチ、ありがとう。私のこと待っててくれて。いいえ、みちる様こそ戻ってきてくれてありがとうございました。ただいま帰ったわよ。おかえりなさいませ、みちる様。あんたはもう寝ていいわよ。明日も早いんでしょ？ええ、そうですね。では失礼させていただきます。ここのところさすがに寝不足です。
Are you crying? I see. Making no further comment, I carry Michiru to the bathroom. You're filthy. I'll bring a change of clothes, so you focus on getting that dirt off for now. Everything else can wait until after. What's wrong? Being alone too scary?
大丈夫。だってユージは絶対に迎えに来てくれるはずだもん。
The girl smiles a little awkwardly as she speaks. I give her a quick pat on the head, then make my way down to her room to obtain a fresh change of clothes. That said, I don't know where anything is in here. These are the ones she's always wearing. Well, that works. Already out of the bath? That was fast. I brought you a change of clothes. I'm expecting a sex scene. So far, we've actually only have one sex scene, you know? So I am very wary. This might be a skip for you guys on YouTube. Her body wrapped up in a towel I left in the changing room. Michiru shuffles around shyly.
ねえ、ユージもお風呂入りなよ。
Not right now. I need to arrange for your medical checkup and...
いいから。だってユージだって同じ時間ずっと外にいたんでしょ？
That's right. Oh, do I smell? Sorry.
そうじゃないけど、一休みしてってこと？
At Michiru's insistence, I consent to bathe. From the perspective of a freshly washed woman, I must seem exceptionally unsanitary at the moment. Might have been a little inconsiderate on my part. It's not the time for a leisurely soak. I opt for a quick shower. But just as I'm finishing up, Michiru comes in as well. Damn you, my instincts! Is that music gonna play? That dreaded music? It's playing, but Michiru's not naked for some reason. so you guys can see for a bit more. But it is playing, so you know what's coming. Hello there. Felt like taking a bath in your clothes? Or maybe you forgot something.
そうじゃなくて、ユージにまた会えたことが嬉しくてだから。
I understand that, but couldn't you wait 5 minutes for me to come out of the shower?
いろいろなお礼も含めて背中を流してあげようかなって。
You're a real handful. Alright, if you're doing this, do it quickly. Michiru rubs a bar of soap against a washcloth, slowly and carefully working up a nice lather.
失礼します。
The girl proceeds to wash every nook and cranny of my back. Nice gesture, but after 5 straight minutes of scrubbing, it starts to feel like she's overdoing it a little. Alright, that's good enough.
ゴシゴシゴシゴシ。
I told you that's good enough. Cut it out already.
やだ。やっぱり離れたくない。
Finally abandoning her washcloth, Michiru leans against my back and wraps her arms around me. Must have been pretty lonely down there. I'm not going anywhere, Michiru.
わかってる。わかってるけど。ねえ、ごっこじゃない。キスして。
I thought someone was outside my door for a sec. Doesn't look like anyone's outside. I turn around, take Michiru by the wrist, and draw her to me. Damn you, God. At least this one should be a lot more romantic than the other one. The other one, I was really exasperated.
ユージ。して。
I'm still not gonna like Michiru's sex scenes, but this one is a lot less awkward. Instead of answering, I press my lips to hers. Michiru.
ユージ。
Every time Michiru's lips move against mine, I can feel my body grow a little hotter. Something similar may be happening to Michiru, judging from the blush that spreads from her face to her ears, then all the way down to her neck.
ユージ、ありがとう。もう大丈夫。これ以上。
That's so. Thought you didn't want to let me go.
そうだけど、これ以上されたら私変な気分になっちゃうよ。
Sounds good to me. We're a couple, aren't we? What's the problem?
恋人なの？だってちゃんと返事してもらってないけど。
Are you serious? Doesn't that go without saying at this point?
そうかな。私わかんなかった。
As an abrupt surge of affection warms my chest, I once again bring my face to Michiru's. Gotta remember, Yuji, we are dealing with an idiot. Though it's self-proclaimed idiot. I don't think she's really all that stupid, really. Michiru.
一緒に気持ちよくなりたい。
Alright, get out of here, you two. Enjoy yourselves. And for that, I'll be cutting for YouTube for sure on this part. I ease myself onto the floor. A moment later, Michiru straddling me on her hands and knees. The classic 69 position, is it? Before things progress any further, I reach out and give the nearest faucet a good twist. Are we good now? Both of you? As I feel the weight of her body settling limply against mine, I can feel myself starting to drift off as well. Well, this sort of thing isn't too bad every once in a while. You guys literally fell asleep after sex? I can't stand people who decide they've saved someone with a little kindness. Human beings exist within their own private bubble of solitude. Our pain and sadness can't be cured by gentle words. Offering gestures of sympathy can make you feel good about yourself, but for the recipient, it's meaningless at best. People don't need a crutch or a savior. They need to overcome their own suffering or find the strength to accept it. And when someone needs help getting to that point, I'm willing to lend a hand. Of course, that doesn't mean I go around offering my support to every satsack I run into the street. I'm not some hypocrite politician or a cult leader. So what distinguishes the people I willingly assist from those I don't? Not sure if there's any clear criteria, really, other than whim. Sometimes I just feel like it.
ユージ大好き。
Even when it comes to the young lady currently sleeping at my side, thoroughly pondering the reason why I helped her doesn't produce a convincing answer. But that's just the way human beings are. No matter how logically you analyze our motives, no matter how thoroughly you investigate the context of our actions, every once in a while, you'll end up running smack dab into the incomprehensible. I can't comment on how meaningful this particular incident may or may not be, but I'm not unhappy with the way things turned out. In any case, the tricky part comes next.
恥ずかしながら松島みちる帰ってまいりました。ゾンビだゾンビだ
Man, that sex scene was actually not bad. You know, after like the last episode, I have actually been enjoying Michiru's ride quite a bit. I think my assessment is still the same, that I like the route, but I don't really like Michiru all that much. But the route itself is very nice. It gives you a very good, it has a very good moral message, and even portrays a lot of the stuff very coherently. I guess it's like that first sex scene that really trips me up. That definitely made me lose points for Michiru a lot.
ズンビどこどこズンビーパウダーどこどこあなんだチルチルじゃんおかえりただいまいやただいまじゃなくてそしておかえりじゃなくてだってちょっと榊さん
何？朝から騒がし
やあただいまなぜどうしてなぜにもうあまねいいじゃないのよさだってチルチル帰ってきたのよどの面下げてか知らないけど帰ってきたのよどの面ってどの面
These ones. I pinch Michiru's face and stretch her cheeks out to both sides.
このつるですああそのつらないいじゃん割にそのつらならいけるいけるちょっと待ってなんで復活したあまねっては意外にめんどくせえな帰ってきたからいいじゃんって言ってるのよさねえチルチルだって本物だよね
Makina trots over and begins poking at Michiru's chest like a housewife prodding at a shrink-wrapped piece of produce.
本物よ当たり前でしょだよねだったらさいいじゃんだったらすごくいいじゃん悪くないじゃんよかったのよさよかったマキナ寂しかったのよ はいかないよ。
約束してくれる？約束なのよ。
約束できるよ。
Michiru and Makino link their little fingers together. Watching as they swear their oath, Amane heaves a heavy sigh of surrender.
分かったわよ。確かに奇跡の復活で帰ってきた。それは良かった。これ以上喜ばしいことはない。だからもういいわよ。無理やりに納得するわよ。でも私にも約束しなさい。どんな約束？それはもちろん、もう絶対に二度と死んだりしないって。もう死なない。今度死んだりしたらぶっ殺すからね。今度死んだらぶっ殺される。そうだね、それでいいね。もうどっと疲れたわよ。さっちゃんはこのこと知ってるの？
Yeah, she was the first one to know. We ran into her on the way back.
だったら教えてくれればいいのに。それであの子なんて言ってた？二人のこと見てさぞ驚いたんじゃないの？
Not really.
ただお帰りなさいって。そっか、さっちゃんらしいといえばさっちゃんらしいか。松島さん、6枚の。
Same as it ever was. You better give them all proper apologies later.
ミミコには悪いことしたわね。
And so, Michiru returned to her friends and her school, freed of her dependence on medication and that bizarre tsundere act. She spends the rest of her school days as a normal girl, 6 pennants hanging on the wall of her room. A little too neat of a conclusion, unfortunately. Honestly, Michiru's just managed to finally face up to one of her multiple problems, nothing more.
ねえ、ユージ、これって高校じゃないよね。
Yeah, that's right. This is a fully legitimate date.
なんで走るの？しかも5キロも。
That's not even half an hour, Michiru. Calm down. Because you told me to plan the date, and I decided on a little short distance sprinting. Listen, the act of running isn't just...
もういい。いいです。わかりました。ねえ、そうだね。私がね、言ったからだよね。納得。
Our light jog concluded, Michiru and I arrive at a certain high spot overlooking the sea. A place that holds many memories for us.
ねえ、最近私はずっと私でいられてる？
Yeah, you haven't turned into anyone else since you came back. Something to celebrate, right? For some reason, it doesn't look like she's entirely convinced of that.
そうなんだけど、でもあの子はそれでいいのかな？
What do you mean?
だってあの子は私の中にまだ存在してる。決して消えたわけじゃない。彼女はここでまだちゃんと生きてる。それなのに出てこないなんて。それで本当にこれっきりでいいのかな？
I reach out and wipe the sweat from Michiru's cheeks with a hand towel. We went over this before I buried you. I told the girl straight out that if you regained the courage to live, she probably wouldn't have the chance to come out again. And she told me that it was alright with her. She understands that body belongs to you. There's nothing to feel guilty about.
もしかしたら全部私の幻覚だったのかもしれないけど、あの箱の中であの子とお話をしたの。その時に心残りがあるって言ってた。ねえユージ、直接彼女にそれを聞いてみてくれないかな？
Michiru, my friend, you've only just managed to regain control of yourself. Why go out of your way to...
分かってるけど、私だけ幸せになんてなれないよ。彼女のこと最初は嫌いだったけど、本当に私のために行動してくれただけだってことが分かったから。それにこの心臓は彼女からもらったものでしょ。 そのおかげでこうして悠仁といられるんだし。
A bead of sweat dangling from the tip of her nose, Michiru stares up at me with a serious expression on her face. It takes an effort to keep a wry smile off my face. Even without the pseudo-tsundere act, this girl's still a real handful. But compared to forcing herself to act out some character, I suppose it's nice to see her honestly expressing her feelings. Alright, if you insist, I'll try calling the girl out. I do have a method in mind.
方法って？
Same one I use with your medicine. In other words, just a little manipulation of your assumptions.
にゅ？
I set up a simple magic show in Michiru's room. The trick I have in mind, like most magic, amounts to little more than a little bit of psychological misdirection. It's physically impossible to produce a coin from nothingness, and of course, you can't abruptly make one disappear either. Such illusions are made possible by manipulating your assumptions. A visual distraction leaves you convinced that the magician's carrying nothing, where in fact he's just moving the something around where you can't see it. Everyone knows the basic idea, but it's surprisingly hard to overcome our mind's tendency to fill in the gaps and jump to conclusions. Deliberately planting the wrong idea in someone's head isn't as difficult as it might sound. As Michiru said, I don't think the girl's vanished. She's keeping to herself, that's all. I can't exactly reach in and grab her, so I'll have to trick her out.
それでその鏡がいるわけ？
The only prop is a full-length dressing mirror I had Sachi fetch for us. Didn't take long at all, so I'm guessing she borrowed it from someone's room. That's right. This is all we need to pull this off. Alright then, Michiru. Start looking at yourself in the mirror. Keep staring into your own pupils, and don't even think about blinking. Understood?
うん。
Now stay like this for a few hours. Keep it up and she'll come out eventually. I'm sure of it.
何時間かってどれぐらい？そんなに大変なの？
You're the one who wanted to make this happen. Can't even put in a little effort? Well, no skin off my nose if you want to quit.
うんやる。頑張るもん。しんどい。
Okay, do it quietly.
はい。
Honestly, I don't have a clue whether staring into her own eyes is actually going to wake up the other girl. That's not really the point of this little exercise though. By physically and mentally wearing Michiru out, I'm hoping to get her to a drowsy, half-conscious state, where it'll be easier for her alternate self to appear. My words should do the rest. Stay focused, Michiru. She'll come out at any minute now. Just a matter of time. I'm not really convinced of that, but I keep up a constant chorus of firm declarations to the contrary. In other words, I'm forcing the idea that she's definitely going to wake up into Michiru's mind. Hopefully, my confident attitude will eventually lead her to the surface. All of a sudden, something changes in Michiru's face. It's a truly subtle transformation, but the cast of her eyes seems slightly different. There you are. Finally woke up, eh? We're close enough that just talking like it's a done deal should finish things up. Michiru's unlocked the door, and now I've pushed it open. The girl steps blinking into the light.
私はもういいから気にしないで。
Bingo. Knew I could pull this off. Thought that was you. I'm happy to see you again.
私は嬉しくないよ。会いたくなかった。私はこのまま消えようとしてたのに。この子の人生にもう私は必要ないんだから。
Now you're talking just the way Michiru was before. Aren't you supposed to have a little more sense than her?
もう私は出てきちゃいけないのに。
Michiru called you here of her own free will. There's nothing wrong with accepting that. Why hold back?
そんなこと言われても。
Alright then, I'll give you a simple question. What are your regrets?
心残り。
my regrets. Deep inside Michiru, nestled inside her heart, I sink into thought. Why did it turn out like this? Why do I exist inside her? On the way back from school, I was badly hurt in some kind of traffic accident. Until then, I live a very normal life, I think. Normal? I guess so. My grades were pretty decent, although I wasn't an honor student. I did fight with my parents sometimes, even ran away from home for a day or two every once in a while. Apparently I used to say some mysterious things when I was a little kid, but as I grew up that stopped happening. There was someone I liked, although I'm not sure if it was a love or just a crush. I never expressed those feelings. Didn't really feel the need to. Just watching him from a distance made me happy enough. Then, out of nowhere, that accident brought it all to an end. I don't know the details myself. I was just walking home after school one day when everything went black. When I came to, I was in the hospital. The sharp smell of antiseptic solution and an off-white ceiling greeted me. My mind was sluggish and fuzzy, but I was awake. Mom, aren't you supposed to be American? Mom? What was Mom doing here? What happened to me? My ears weren't quite working properly. I couldn't hear her voice that clearly. I wanted to ask all sorts of questions, but my voice didn't want to cooperate. Not just that, I couldn't move my body. What was going on? It almost felt like I'd been locked up inside a cramped little box. The doctor who hurried into the room at the sound of Mom's voice shone a penlight in my eyes for a while, then shook his head in silence. When she saw that, Mom started to cry. I didn't understand why she was sobbing so bitterly. I mean, I was perfectly conscious, so I thought I'd recover and be back to my normal life soon enough. But reality was very different from what I had imagined. Day after day, Mom sat at my bedside and squeezed my hand. Weeks rolled past, but there wasn't any sign I'd be able to go home anytime soon. Yeah, I thought so too. I felt fine, really. Good enough to leave the hospital right away. But even though I was really clear-headed, I still couldn't manage to move even the tip of my tongue. I didn't understand that at all. My mouth was numb and immobile. My throat felt dry sometimes, but I couldn't do anything about it. I wanted to tell Mom how I felt. If I couldn't speak, even moaning would be enough. But my body was completely switched off, quiet and still as a deserted school building in the middle of the night. My classmates didn't come to visit. No, that's not entirely true. A few days after the accident, a group of girls I'd been friendly with did show up once. But when they got a look at me lying there in my bed, they grimaced. They weren't too obvious about it in front of Mom, but I noticed a subtle change in their attitude. They kept their distance for the whole visit, and it wasn't long before they left. As they walked away, I could see one of them mouthing the words, "Hope I never end up like that." After my classmates left, Mom gently stroked my head, as if to reassure that everything would be alright. I had no way of knowing what had happened to my body or the details of my condition. But from what the girls had said, I could tell it must have been pretty bad. I guess Dad was busy with work, since he only came to visit occasionally. Even so, I was always happy when he did show up. But when Dad looked at me, he always had a really scary look on his face. His eyes were empty, completely emotionless. He looked down at me with the face of a man debating whether to throw away an old can of herbicide from the back of his shed. I guess he's thinking about selling the organs.
どうだ何か変わりはあるか
いいえ、昨日と同じよ。ちゃんと呼吸してる。
どうせ明日も同じなんだここに来ても意味ないな
そんなこと言わないでください。この子もあなたが来てくれて喜んでるのよ。
喜んでいる
Dad peered down, studying my face. I really was glad to see him, but I didn't have any way of expressing that happiness.
どうだかな。俺のことが見えてるのかすらわからん。
I can see you just fine. I can hear your voice.
昨日と同じだ。まるで時が止まったみたいだ。
I love Dad, but I was starting to think he hated me. Maybe he used to love me, but hated me because of what I'd become. Not that I even knew what I looked like anymore, honestly. Once a week, Mom would wash my body with a wet cloth. I always loved soaking in the bath, so it wasn't really satisfying by comparison. But since she was doing everything for me now, I didn't exactly have the right to complain. Not that I could have if I wanted to. What really impressed me was the soap she used. It was always lightly fruit-scented. Mom knew that I'd been secretly buying fruit soaps using my pocket money. She must have looked for them in my room and brought them to the hospital for me. My feelings about my parents began to change. Mom was nice. Dad was scary. One day, they started quarreling over some trivial thing right next to me. It started when Mom said something about wanting to take family trips again. Dad got irritated and started shouting at her.
こいつがいる限りそんなことは無理だろう。こんな体でどこに行けるって言うんだ。
昔みたいに遊園地に行けたらいいじゃない。この子好きだったでしょ。
さあな、泣いてたことしか覚えてない。それに車椅子で連れて行くのか。
遊園地に車椅子で来ている人はたくさんいるでしょ。
だがこいつはもう意識がないんだ。いいか、この子は他の子供とは違うんだよ。もう一緒にどこかに行くことなんてできないんだ。
No more trips, huh? I didn't know that, Dad.
そんなことまだわからないでしょ。お医者様だって。
医者がどうした？もう死んでるようなものなんだ。いいか、見てろ。
Dad strode over to my bedside, then violently smacked my cheeks with the palms of his hands.
どうだ？生きてるか？生きてるなら返事しなさい。パパだぞ。ほら、パパだぞ。
やめて、あなた。
うるさい。こいつには聞こえてやしないんだ。何も分からずにずっとここで眠っているだけだ。ずっと俺たちを縛り付けてるだけだ。
そんな言い方やめて。
うるさい。とにかくもう変なこと言うのよせ。気分が悪い。
Dad swung the door open violently and stalked out. I wanted to tell him he was wrong. I could see everything. I could hear just fine. But it didn't hurt when he slapped me, and I couldn't cry, even when my parents fought bitterly before my eyes.
ごめんね。言いたかっただろう。もうあんなことはさせないからね。
Mom returned to my side and began to gently stroke my head.
パパはお仕事でイライラしてるだけよ。大丈夫。また3人でどこかに行こうね。
Her tone of voice was tender, but even a child like me could understand those words were flimsy, makeshift lies. They didn't take me to the toilet, but I wasn't wearing a diaper. Apparently, my body had changed past the need for such things. Instead, a mess of plastic tubes constantly pumped things into and out of me. Sometimes a nurse would come and replace the tubing. It was agonizingly painful, like having my stomach cut open by a dull knife. But since I couldn't scream or even shed a tear, they never even knew. I could see that Mom was getting thinner with every passing day. It wasn't surprising. From dawn until dusk, she was at my side, talking to my motionless body, reading me books as if I were a baby again. The doctors stopped by frequently at first, but their visits grew rarer as the weeks stretched into months. Eventually, they stopped coming entirely. A nurse would stop by maybe once a week, mainly for politeness' sake. I began to understand that my life was essentially over. I had come to the end of myself. I didn't want to trouble Mom anymore. There wasn't anything I could do to change the situation. This sucks, I tried to say. Naturally, the words didn't leave my mouth. I'm miserable, I tried to cry. But the tears wouldn't come either. One night, after Mom had gone home, Dad showed up by himself. He stood next to my bed with a steely look on his face. I wanted to ask him what was wrong, but by now, I'd stopped even trying to speak. He reached out and put a hand on one of the machines that pumped oxygen, or whatever, into my body. It could be shut off easily enough if you press a few buttons. It probably wouldn't take long for me to die. Dad looked down at me again, his harsh expression faltering. I could see unfathomably deep anguish in his eyes.
すまない。もう限界だ。許してくれるか。
I didn't have to think twice. Dad, you can turn that machine off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I ended up like this. I'm sorry for becoming such a burden on you. Such a burden to you. Was it my fault? I don't really think so. But the how and why no longer really matter, do they? I'm a millstone around your neck. That's just a fact. So please, go ahead and kill me, Dad. There's nothing to forgive you for. This is what I want. But Dad just gave the machine a few light smacks, then turned on his heel and left the room. Why didn't you kill me? I don't want to keep making everyone suffer like this. Please come back. Please kill me. When Mom came in the next day, her eyes were red. She stroked my hair for a long time in silence. Please, Mom. You can stop the machine. Just kill me. There's no point in keeping me alive, is there? Hurry up and end this.
お前はずっと私たちの子供だよ。
Mom leaned in to kiss my cheek, but lost her balance and fell to the floor. After nursing me day in and day out for months, the accumulated fatigue must have finally overwhelmed her. I heard the loud thump of her body striking something hard. It looked as though she'd fallen in an awkward way, but the area under the bed was below my field of vision. I was frantic with worry. Had she struck her head? I wanted to scream for help, but that was just as impossible. It was beyond frustrating. It was torture. Pleasant, warm sunlight streamed in through the open window, and a gentle breeze stirred the curtains. I could hear the voices of laughing children outside. It was a very peaceful day, the sort that slips easily by before you know it. And as the minutes ticked tranquilly past, Mom lay on the floor of my hospital room. I couldn't see what had happened to her, but she wasn't moving. This can't be happening. Somebody come. Please hurry. Please. Please. Picturing myself thrashing around in the bed, I tried desperately to squeeze a sound, any sound, out of my mouth. But it was useless. I sat there still as a stone. More than an hour later, Dad finally arrived.
どうしたんだ？お前大丈夫か？
His face a mask of shock. Dad scrambled to my bedside and picked Mom up in his arms. Her face was wet with bright red blood.
転んだのか？頭が切れてるじゃないか。ちょっと待ってろ。すぐに見てもらうからな。
Dad carried Mom out of the room, but before he left, he turned over his shoulder and shot me an angry look, as if blaming me for what had happened. But you're wrong, Dad. This is your fault. I mean, none of this would have happened if you just killed me, would it? Following the accident, Dad took over the role of my caretaker. He spent the days working on his laptop, never making eye contact with me. But after less than a week of this, a doctor came into my hospital room and began discussing something with Dad.
ちょうど今、心臓を提供してくださる方を探しておりまして。はい。本当にいいんですね。
Dad was clearly distressed, but after brooding for several minutes, he nodded silently. Accepting a pen from the doctor, he slowly signed a number of documents. That night, Dad came right up to my side and watched my face for a long time.
すまないな。このことはママに言っていない。後でどう説明していいか見当もつかない。だが仕方ないだろう。あいつも俺ももう限界だ。このままじゃ俺たちが終わっちまう。
Dad didn't take my hand or stroke my head. If this was going to be the last time, I wanted him to touch me, even for a moment.
本当にすまない。もし聞こえてるなら何か言ってくれ。 れ。
Thank you, Dad.
喋るわけないよな。俺は何を言ってるんだ。バカな。
Dad stayed by my side until morning. I was really happy. The next day, an unfamiliar doctor came to my room. He gave me a number of injections, stripped me naked, and carefully inspected my body. Dad stood silently by and watched. Mom wasn't there. At the end, Dad looked down at me and said something, but I couldn't make out the words. I was loaded onto a stretcher and carried to an operating room. My heart was going to be taken out of my body to save someone else. It'd be a lie to say I had no regrets, but that didn't sound so terrible. A lot more appealing than lying around helplessly and making Mom and Dad miserable at least. No matter how badly I wanted to move, my body was still. No matter how much I wanted to speak, I couldn't talk to anyone. I didn't want to exist like that.
それでは手術を開始します。
I don't think like youth anesthesia is like legal though in Japan. But I guess technically donoring your heart is illegal if your parents allow it and sign the document. That day in that operating room, I think I died once. I see. So then your heart was transplanted into Michiru's body.
そうでもまさかあんなにはっきりと意識まで移るとは思わなかった。だから驚いた。私はいつも暗闇の世界にいた。だけどミチルに嫌なことが起こるとステージにスポットライトが当たるように私に光が差すの。
I guess when I was playing this like 10 years back, I really don't think I accepted this, you know, this pseudo DID thing. But there have been weirder cases of DID in this world that's really just can't be explained by science or, you know, what I study, which is psychology.
その光を手繰り寄せると私は彼女の体を動かせることが分かった。彼女の体を動かせると知ったとき、正直これはしてはいけないことだって思った。だってこれは彼女の体だから。もしそれが可能だとしても知らないふりをしてずっと暗闇で眠っていなければいけないんだって。
Ethical choice. How old were you when you died again?
だけど長い間ずっとベッドで動けなかった私にとって指を動かす、声を出す、視線をどこかに向けるという行為は快感とも言えるものだった。体を自由に動かすことがこんなにも素晴らしいことだなんてわからなかったと思う。
Not surprising that you'd feel that way. But the body you were moving wasn't actually yours. Someone upstairs has a nasty sense of humor.
みちるは子供の頃に悲しいことがあってから心を閉ざしているみたいだった。だから私は何か手伝えないかなって思って。それで彼女が辛い時は代わりに表に出ていろいろなことをした。彼女の人生がうまくいくようにって必死で頑張った。でも正直に言えば単純に動けることが嬉しかっただけかもしれない。本当にミチルのことを思えばあんなことをしちゃいけなかったのよ。大きなお世話だった。余計に彼女を傷つけて悩ませてしまっていたものね。
Not intentionally, and you did everything you could to ease that pain. Michiru's suffering hurt you too.
そうよ、言ったでしょ。私は悪者なんかじゃないのよ。純粋にミチルを助けたかっただけ。
Well, she wants to return the favor, so let's talk about these regrets of yours. By which I mean, what do you want to do?
心残り。何でも願いが叶うとしたらママとパパに会いたいかな。
Your parents say?
何か一つだけって言うならママとパパ。それで会ってどうするわけじゃないけど顔が見たい。
I see. That's your wish, is it?
でもそんなの無理に決まってる。私の住んでいた場所は日本じゃない。ここから遠すぎる。それにこの姿であったとしても私だってわからないでしょ。
The last one, sure, but it's definitely easy to find out about your parents. I mean, Michiru's dad is a big shot, or Michiru's family at least. They'd still probably have the documents stored somewhere. Or the hospital where you were treated at. I reach out and squeeze the girl's hand tightly. I can't return you to your original form, but I can take you to your parents. If that's what you want, I'll help make it happen. After all, that's what Michiru wants as well.
私が住んでいたのは日本じゃないんだよ。
What about it? Is that supposed to be a problem? The only issue I see here is you're waffling. We don't have to do this if you don't want to, alright? You might regret it later, but it's your choice to make. So, what'll it be?
どうするって。
You've already made up your mind, haven't you? And you know you have. I'll give you 2 seconds to answer. This is your only chance. Ready?
え？行く。
I hadn't even started counting, but whatever.
ユウジ君、私をママとパパのところに連れて行って。顔が見たい。それだけでいいから。
Understood. Stand by here for 5 minutes.
ちょっと待って。だって5分ってどうするの？行っちゃった。でも無理だよね。だって私。
風見くんってば何を考えているのかしら。私だけならともかく春寺さんまで巻き込むなんて。
あなたは学園長？
そうよ、話は聞きました。もうあんな言い方されたら私が断れないこと知ってて、なんてやつなのかしら。まさかあの弱みをついてくるなんて絶対に許さない。
I don't know what he did, but I think it's your fault, Chizuru, for accepting.
どういうことでしょう？
ごめんなさい。いいから出発の準備をしなさい。と言っても靴だけ履き替えればいいわよ。パスポートも着替えも必要ないわ。観光じゃないならツアーガイドも必要ないでしょ。
でも
遊園地にも行きたいなら今回は我慢してね。そこまで楽しめるプランは組めないわ。ちょっと許可は出したけど校庭に着陸させることないでしょ。そこの課題今が先時なのに。
後期？
Sorry to keep you waiting. Good thing we happen to have someone flying around nearby. How'd I do? Was that 5 minutes? With a wink at Chizuru, I dragged Michiru out of her room. Must have been like a private jet or something.
ちょっと風見くん、帰ってきたら分かってるでしょうね。
Yeah, I'll take responsibility, where I can at least. We'll go 50-50 on the rest.
本当に覚えておきなさいよ。
ねえ、これはどういうこと？校庭に飛行機が来るなんて。
It's alright. We're going to see our parents, right now.
今から？
Yes, right now. Once the decision is made, why put off taking action? You agreed to this yourself, remember?
でも
Before the girl can continue her sputtering objections, I cover her eyes with my hand. Just trust me, alright? America's not so far as all that. Thinking back, once we're there, it'll feel like we only left 3 seconds ago. It actually takes like 12 hours-ish from Japan to America, I think. So not really 3 seconds, Yuji. Though I don't know if you use a private jet. Allow me to demonstrate. 3, 2, 1. What is this music?
着いた。
That we are. How was that? Blink of an eye, right?
うん。もうちょっとだけ長かった気もするけど。あっという間だった。
This is a very interesting soundtrack. I placed a sales call to your house in the ride over. A woman answered the phone, so they're probably home. Incidentally, they don't seem to have any plans to purchase high-quality carpets at the moment.
カーペット屋さんのふりをしたの？悪い人。
I don't think it's been all that long, considering, right? For Michiru, I mean. Maybe like 2 years or 3 years since the accident, so they're definitely still alive. I'd have a bit of a guilty conscience if she'd asked for a free sample or something. But that wasn't how it happened. No harm done, right?
そうだけど。
I keep up my conversation with Yuji-kun, but most of it goes in one ear and out the other. This is the town I grew up in. The street I return to every day. The very smell of the air brings back a flood of memories. And although it's a little dirtier than I remembered it, this is definitely my house. We'll be going back in time for dinner. You came this far, so don't hesitate. Get going.
うん。
I take my sweet time just getting to the porch. After a few hesitant moments, I reach up and put my finger on the doorbell. But I can't bring myself to press it. Minutes slide by as I stand there like a statue. I consider having Yuji-kun ring the doorbell in my place, but that would defeat the point of this visit. Even so, the tiny plastic button in front of me looks like some enormous, intimidating gong. The sort of thing you'd hang by the gate to hell.
やっぱりダメかもしれない。
Maybe I can't do this. Maybe I'll just give up and crawl back in failure.
じゃあカウント3ね。3。
ちょっとカーペットならいらないって言ったでしょ。
Why are you speaking Japanese, woman? I spin around to find myself face to face with Mom. Wasn't she supposed to be inside the house? Oh, but I guess you can see the front door pretty clearly from the garden. Since I was just standing out here all this time, maybe she thought I was some kind of suspicious character. She used to drive off door-to-door salesmen like this every once in a while when I was a kid, come to think of it. Can't say I expected her to be keeping that up at this age. Amusement, shock, hesitation, and happiness swell up in me all at once, fusing into an unidentifiable mass of emotion.
おや、あらあら、ごめんなさい。さっきセールスの電話があったからそいつかと思っちゃって。
いえ、その。
こんな場所にお客さんなんて珍しい。さあ、中に入っておくれ。
ああ、いえ、もうここで失礼します。
何か用があってきたんだろう。ほら、いいからおいでよ。
はい。
あんた、よく見たら美人さんだね。お母さんに似たのかしら。さあ、早くしないとコヨーテが出るよ。あんたみたいなちっちゃい子はパクリだよ。
That's how they say coyotes in Japan?
はい。
どうせおばちゃんの一人暮らしだからね。遠慮することはないよ。
Where's the dad, damn you?
一人暮らし。
Mom bustles into the kitchen and makes tea for me. It's her special black blend with honey and ginger. When I was a kid, I really loved this stuff. I remember asking for so many refills that she'd get mad.
いただきます。
おや、どうかしたかい？お口に合わない？
いえ、美味しいです、とっても。
そう、それはよかったわ。何杯でも飲んでいってね。
Mom smiles at me like a child. The tea definitely isn't bad, but the flavoring's a little too sweet for me now. Are the ingredients different? Does this tongue work differently than mine? Or did I just grow up? Glancing around the room, I notice how spare and empty it is. A small twinge of something like loneliness strikes me. It's a sort of melancholy you feel when walking a scrawny old dog on a rainy day.
いや、旦那さんはいらっしゃらないんですか？
ああ、お父ちゃんかい。そうだね。行くときは急なもんさ。去年死んじまってね。そ
Damn.
れから私一人で暮らしてるよ。
I think it's barely 3 years since Michiru got the transplant. Damn. That is very unlucky.
家族で過ごしてた時は狭い狭いって文句を言ってたけど、一人になるとこんなに広いんだね。持て余しちゃうよ。
Mom chuckles at her own joke, but I know how much she loved Dad. She has to be forcing herself.
ご家族は旦那さんだけだったんですか？
ああ、娘がいたよ。とっても可愛くて優しい子でね。生きてたらあんたと同じくらいなはずさ。その子がいなくなってからお父ちゃんは人が変わったみたいに仕事に没頭してね。過労でぽっくりさ。何かで気持ちを紛らわせていないと耐えられなかったんだろうね。もちろん私だって同じ気持ちだった。そりゃ白髪も増えるわけだよ。
そうなんですか。寂しいですね。
Mom answers that I was, her voice like a sigh.
そりゃ寂しいさ。だけどね、お父ちゃんも娘も心の中でしっかり生きてるからね。だから私は一人じゃないんだよ。ここで一緒なのさ。ここでね。
Thumping her own chest, Mom smiles brightly at me. Not knowing what to say, I just sip my tea.
こんなことをお伺いするのも失礼かと思いますが。
I force the question out of my mouth. It feels like leaping headfirst into the Niagara Falls.
娘さんと旦那さんは仲良かったんですか？
仲？そりゃいいに決まってるよ。親子だものね。この子ったら変なこと言うね。そうだ。せっかくだからいいもの見せてあげるよ。
Mom leaves the room, but returns only a moment later. There's a string of worn-out old paper cranes in her hands.
これね、娘が入院した時にお父ちゃんが徹夜で作ったのよ。それなのにあの人ったら渡す時になったら恥ずかしいって言ってね。シャイだったんだね、あんな顔して。まったく。まだ物置にたくさんあるよ。千羽鶴だなんて日本的だしロマンティックだね。でももう何年も前の話だよ。
I touch the cranes with the tips of my fingers. The paper is damp and a little moldy. Even so, my heart fills up with warmth. Just imagining my stern-faced dad hunched over a table making origami makes me want to laugh. Not his style at all.
私もお父ちゃんも娘のことを心から愛していたよ。救ってやれなくて本当に申し訳ないと思ってる。夢みたいなことをね、バカみたいなことって分かってるけど、もしももう一度あの子に会えるなら謝りたいよ。親なのに子供を最後まで守ってやれなくてごめんってね。幸せにしてやれなくてごめんって。
I was gonna say how awkward it'd be if you know, you'd be inviting someone that you don't know into your own house. But I guess when you're living alone, maybe you just take anyone that just wants to listen to your story.
ちゃんと愛してやれなくてごめんってダメな親でごめんねってごめん
Watching mom struggle on the brink of tears, I'm overcome by the need to do something. Anything. I reach out and take her hand in mine. She's surprised for a moment, but soon gently squeezes back. Her hands are wrinkled and dry, but still just as warm and comforting as I remember it.
私がこんなこと言うのも変だけど、きっと娘さんは幸せだったと思います。だってこんなに愛されているじゃないですか。謝るなんてそんなの変です。謝らなくちゃいけないの。
All of a sudden, there's a thick lump at the bottom of my throat that the words can't find their way past. Mom leans over and begins thumping me softly on the back.
私、なんて言えばいいのか。でも、謝ることなんてないと。
Mom's stroking my hair just like she used to, but the tears won't stop.
あんたは優しい子だねありがとうそう思うと少し楽になるよ
And with that, the flow of words stops entirely. I throw myself into Mom's arms, bawling like a baby. She seems a little taken aback, but gently embraces me. In the end, I can't do a thing.
ごめんなさい。私、失礼させていただきます。
My voice twisted beyond recognition. I somehow managed to croak out the words.
何か用事があったんじゃないのかいごめんね私があんな話しちまったばかりに
It takes everything I have just to shake my head. It's not your fault, Mom. None of this is. I'm the only one who needs to apologize. There are so many things I want to say, but I can't get any of it across. I don't want to leave like this, but the words won't come. Even though I might never see her again, even though this might be the very last time I hear her voice, all I can do is cry.
それじゃあね気をつけて帰るんだよ
Mom, The words just won't come. It's no good.
実は私、娘さんのお友達だったんです。それでここに来たんです。泣いてしまってごめんなさい。でも、会えてよかったです。
My mouth's moving all by itself, speaking for me. But it's not unpleasant. I know Michiru must be doing this for me.
おやそうかいあの子のお友達かいだったら早くそう言ってくれればよかったのに
Mom smiles, something like relief in her eyes, and my mouth keeps on moving.
私、まだおばさまとお話ししたいことたくさんあります。涼しいお願いかもしれませんが、お手紙送ってもいいですか？
おやおやもちろんだともさ時間ならたっぷり余ってるからねうちにはパソコンがないけどそれでもいいかい今時の子はペンで手紙を書くなんてことをしないんだろ
They do not. They do not.
ちゃんと書きます。だから待っててください。必ず送りますから。
ありがとうね住所はガーディナ
大丈夫。分かってますから。
そうかい
それでは失礼します。また。
ああまたね気をつけて帰るんだよ
Mom petted my head one last time. I thought I'd never see her again, but Yuji-kun brought me to her. I thought our relationship would end with this one visit, but Michiru helped me. I wanted to thank them, but the only things that came out of my mouth were weird, strangled little sounds. On the road outside the house, after making sure Mom wasn't watching, I cried my heart out.
大丈夫。これでいいんだよ。
Michiru reassured me. Yuji-kun struck my head many times, just like Mom had. The familiar smells of my hometown and the scent of kind-hearted friends mingled together in a pleasant, comforting breeze that seemed to be blowing from the future. A high place, sure. It's not like I don't know where this is. And so, a curtain falls on the story of two peculiar girls. The girl who shut herself up inside a box and waited for rescue is gone. Michiru's come to understand that she's the only one who can save herself. That's true. Of course, people can't live alone. We need the help of others. But what really matters is finding our own road, and the strength of will to walk it. Human beings don't have wings on their backs. We have no choice but to make our way forward on the two legs we were given. Life is just a long series of such small steps. There are plenty of things still undone, plenty of problems still unresolved, but that's inevitable. Anyway, wouldn't wrapping things up too neatly be a little boring? From now on, Michiru and I will be dealing with the problems that come our way together. The world isn't so complicated. Walk forward and you'll find a future. Turn back and you'll find your memories. Cut off a piece and you've got a story. This is just one small part of one such tale. That's true.
ねえ、気持ちいいね、風。
I definitely feel like I like this route a lot more than I remember. I still really hate what happened on the first sex scene though. But I think that has more to do with my own personal circumstances than anything else. Someone I know loves to indulge themselves in lies such as alcohol and sex that I feel like it's a bit too close to home, you know? And I was super biased towards Michiru that way. But I mean, as long as you can overcome it yourself, you know, overcome your problems and become a better person, I still think it doesn't matter what your, like, mistakes were, as long as it's not that bad yet. I don't think Michiru was doing anything bad. True enough, I can understand why you love this place so much.
過去みたいに言わないで。今でも好きよ。
I see. However, I would be remiss not to mention that a particularly thorny difficulty has arisen in the aftermath of this incident. Am I to blame for this? Is Michiru? Or perhaps the other girl? I wouldn't mind taking the time for a thorough analysis of the matter. But in any case, I'm currently at my wit's end.
そうかな。ここ、そこまでいいものかな。
Hmm.
ねえ、ユウジくん。それよりさ、もっと違う場所行かない？ハンバーガー屋さんとか。ちょっと待ってよ。出てこないでよね。今、私はユウジとデートしてるの。わかる？人の邪魔はしないって約束でしょ？だからおとなしくしてなさいってば。だって君のセンス悪いんだもん。かといってさ、ユウジ君に任せると走ってばっかりだし、本当にバランス悪いよね、二人とも。そんな指摘しなくていいのに。ねえ、ユウジ、この場所退屈？
Well, I suppose boring would be one way to describe it, yes.
だったら先に行ってよね。他の場所にしたのに。
Well, the location doesn't matter. Anywhere is fun when I'm with you.
何浮かれてんのよ。ユウジ君は口がうまいからお世辞に決まってるでしょ。嘘！そうなの、ユウジ。
Hmm?
じゃないわよ。何よその疑問系。意味わかんない。やだやだや
だの。
As you can see, both personalities are now capable of emerging at the same time. A nasty side effect of my improvised hypnotism, perhaps. Then again, apparently Michiru took over the conversation for the girl on our visit to California, so maybe that's what did it. Whatever the case may be, damn, they were going to California? I'd have to go there one day myself. There's no changing the fact that this is a major pain in the ass.
だってさ、あんたなんて私が大事にしてた宝物の中身あっさりしてるしさ。これはちょっとひどかったじゃない。
君が捨ててって言ったからでしょ。それに本当は捨ててないよ。部屋の天井裏を見てごらん。ちゃんとあるから。
そうなの？
そうだよ。私は昔から大事なものは屋根裏に隠しておく癖があるんです。君みたいに考えなしに捨てたりしないの。
Actually, I do have a bad habit like Michiru that I thoughtlessly toss treasures away too. Though nowadays, I don't really have any sort of treasure that I truly cherish. It's all in my head.
そんなしっかりしてるアピールしてるけど、お母さんを前にして何も言えなかったじゃない。
そりゃそうでしょ。あの時は緊張してたし。でも手伝ってくれてありがとうね。
そんな急に素直にお礼を言われると、まあ、
Michiru looks up at the sky, her expression slightly bashful.
でもさ、なんていうの？今度また会いに行こうよ。私もあのお母さんのこと好きだし、優しそうな顔してるし。何しろあんたがいなかったら私は今生きてないかもしれない。そのお礼も兼ねてね。
それまでに私消えちゃったりしてね。
ダメ！それはダメ！これからはずっと一緒にいよう。何の偶然かはわからないけど、この体に2人の心が残ってる。この体は私だけのものでもあんただけのものでもない。これは2人のもの。これからは私が助けられるばっかりじゃなくて、あんたのことを助けてあげるからね。待ってなさい。
Michiru jabs out a finger to emphasize the point, but with nowhere in particular to aim it, she ends up pointing at herself.
だってほら、あんたは私の親友でしょ。
そうね。まあ君を一人にさせておくと勝手に暴走するし、バカだし、私がいなきゃダメでしょうね。
何その言い方、ひどい。
君がしっかりするまでちゃんと私が助けてあげるから大丈夫。君の真似なら得意だからね。
何よ、あんたに私のこのスーパーナチュラルツンデレができるっていうの？
できるわよ。簡単。今やってみせましょうか。じゃあユウジ君。
The conversation seems to have taken a highly problematic turn. I'd love to pretend I hadn't heard, but that's not a realistic option right now. Instead, I grunt out a reluctant half-groan of a response. Yes?
今からツンデレするから、どっちがやったか当ててね。
Yeah, understood. Shouldn't be a problem.
わかる？ちゃんと見分けることできる？
Of course. Enough with the dramatic build-up. Just do it already.
わかった。いくね。せーの。あんたのことなんて大好きなんだからね。
Okay, I don't have a damn clue. Michiru stares intently at my face, her eyes filled with confident expectation. God knows what's going to happen to me if I get this wrong. Left with no alternative, I pull out the trump card. I love you too. After a moment of bewilderment, A big grin spread across her face.
嬉しいです。
No telling how long this trick will keep working. Have to figure out something before she catches on.
やれやれ。だからユウジ君の口のうまさにごまかされてるって。
ちょっとユージ、それ本当だったら許さないんだからね。
I actually don't remember Michiru's ending theme all that much. Has there always been those lyrics on the upper right? Did I never realize this? Really good song, by the way. A lot more upbeat than the typical sad songs that you hear from all the other routes so far. Final fractal. Wait, whose theme was the final fractal? This one's Skip, huh? Alright, is it gonna be the weird ending song for the English localization? Oh, not yet? Okay. Good, good, good.
こんにちは。お元気ですか？先日は突然お伺いして申し訳ありませんでした。急な訪問なのに快く私を迎え入れてくれたことを深く感謝しています。娘さんはおばさまのことをとても愛していたと思います。もちろん旦那さんのこともです。でも年頃になると恥ずかしくて、そういったことが面と向かって言えなくなる時期があるのです。それはおばさまも経験があるでしょ。私にはいつもご両親への感謝の気持ちを話してくれていましたよ。娘さんはこんなことを言っていました。パパとママに手を引かれていった遊園地が忘れられないと。そこはとてもカラフルな世界で、みんなが心の底から笑っていた。甘いポップコーンの香りと空に飛んでいく風船の鮮やかな赤。近づいてきたキャラクターが大きくて怖くて泣いてしまったりとか、疲れてパパの背中で眠ってしまったこととか、お土産のチョコのクランチを帰りの車の中で全部食べてしまって叱られたこととか、その全部が宝物だと 愛しそうに話してくれました。
Exactly, it's not the things that are treasures, it's the memories.
子供と大人の間の時期は感謝を素直に伝えることに抵抗があります。
I wouldn't say even adults nowadays are very honest, Michiru.
だけどそこから遠く離れてしまうと、自分のいた場所がどれだけ大切でどれだけ幸せだったかということが痛いほどわかるのです。ここからは私のお話です。私は今優しいお友達や素敵な恋人と一緒にいて、みんなに囲まれて幸せに暮らしています。おばさまとは遠く離れているけど、私にとって私の世界を構成する大事なお友達のうちの一人なんです。お友達だなんて言って気を悪くしたらごめんなさい。でも本当そうなんです。今娘さんとおばさまは遠く離れた場所にいるけれど、きっとおばさまのことを忘れたことは一日もないと思います。そして娘さんは今幸せに暮らしていると思います。
To some people, what you say might be something irresponsible there, other Michiru. I'm not sure how the mom is gonna take it.
長くなってしまったので、この辺りで今回はおしまいにしておきます。またお手紙を書いていいですか？まだまだ話したいことがたくさんあります。おばさまももし退屈な時間があったら私にお手紙を書いてください。
Letters. Back in the day, these are very cherished. Since you can only reply in like, every couple of weeks or something. But nowadays, with the internet, it definitely lessens the impact of responses.
おばさまがどんな風に暮らしているのかすごく興味があります。それではまた。日本より愛を込めて。確かによくかけてるけどルール違反じゃない？今日は私とユージのデートの日でしょ。あんたお休みなのに。分かってるってば。でもどうしても今日中に書き上げておきたかったから。まあそれは許すわよ。ロスタイム扱いしてもいいわよ。でもちょっと聞きたいんですけど、この素敵な恋人って誰のこと？まさかユージじゃないよね。君の恋人は私の恋人じゃないの？なわけないでしょ。ユージは私の恋人なのに。そうですか。何その含みのある感じ。別に。
I guess we're gonna have something to look forward to in the second game. Damn you, other Michiru! Hey, get a move on in there. Don't be late unless you feel like running again.
ほら今の聞いた？もし走ることになったらあんたがやりなさいよね。わかった。あとは封をするだけだから。私はもう寝るから。封して送っておいてね。絶対忘れないでね。わかってるわよ。わかってるってば。はい、おやすみおやすみ。おやすみなさい。
I can feel her closing her eyes and sinking into sleep. Since we accepted each other, we've picked up a bunch of new tricks like this. These days, I can feel her moving inside me. That sounds really weird, but okay. 3 minutes until scheduled time of assembly. I'm going to make you both run, by the way. Timelessness is a group responsibility. Timeliness.
ちょっと待ってってば。
I take the envelope and begin to fold her letter. Then pause, grab a pen, and scratch a few lines at the very bottom of the page.
推進とは
For some reason, I remembered the way she hit my treasures. When I slit the corner tile free from the dorm room ceiling, my diaries and photos came tumbling down, along with my treasure rocks. Maybe. My patience is at an end. I'm leaving you behind. Next time, get moving 5 minutes before you think you need to.
待っててば、手紙出しに一緒に行こうよ。
おばさまがどんな風に暮らしているのかすごく興味があります。それではまた日本より愛を込めて。あらあら、あの子ったら本当に親切ね。こんなおばさんの相手してくれるなんて。追伸？急に字が汚くなってるけど、どうしたのかしら。娘さんの部屋が昔と同じままだとしたら、天井裏を探してみてください。何かあるかもしれません。天井裏？どれどれ、見てみましょうかね。おやおや、これはまた。
Seth, thanks for everything. I was definitely being a lot too harsh to Michiru in the last episode. I really do think that every character in this story actually does deserve happiness. Like, none of them are bad, you know? It's just that what Michiru was doing was just something that really bothers me. Definitely still biased towards Sachi, but you know, I definitely think that I like all the characters in this game. Definitely so. Yeah, this route is actually a lot more enjoyable than I first thought. I think I put this, either this one or Sakaki Yumiko's, as the bottommost route. But even then, I still feel like a lot of the story in this visual novel is a lot more polished than the average ones that you'd play. The characters are definitely fleshed out way before you even get to their routes. I mean, considering how you had to read like 20 hours of the common route, of course they'd be fleshed out. That deters a lot of people from reading it though. A lot of my friends really don't want to actually play it because of how big the common route was. And you know, especially if Yuji's like character is not really someone that people can tolerate, I could understand why they wouldn't enjoy Grisaia. I mean, he is a bit standoffish. That's why one of his nickname is like the standoffish man. Though I don't think it's like you know, he's not purposefully doing it. But alright, I think that is it for Michiru's route. Damn.
グリザイアの火
実
I actually went an hour and 30 minutes more than I originally planned because I thought that the route wasn't going to be that long after you chose the option. But turns out, here I am recording 4 hours. I think ripped my plans for DDR since I haven't even ate dinner yet. I was gonna eat dinner like an hour and 30 minutes ago since my stomach was already rumbling. But with that, this is gonna be a two-parter episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. And I think I'm gonna be... I'm going to like Michiru a lot more from now on. I think the reason why I dislike her, I probably forgot her story and I judge her based on, you know, her trope that she has. Like, you know, the pseudo tsundere thing. But now that I've replayed her story, she's definitely a lot more than just a pseudo tsundere, that's for sure. But alright, enough of that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a like if you like it. Sub if you haven't. Michiru's sex scene is gonna be on the Patreon along with this three-parter episode, including the last episode. There'll be early releases. And I will bid you guys till next time. Peace out.